Hi, 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 hi. Hi, everyone. Mitchell James calling, and I am just going to be making this video. And so, just going to share it. Okay, let's go. Sorry. All right, just sharing it. So if you want to take part, just comment. Okay, it's been a busy day for me. I was on ESC Fan TV earlier, talking about the Australian entries for Australia Decides, and this one I'm going to be talking about UK, You Decide. Very exciting. The British national selection. Never know what you're going to get with the British national selection, which is always fun. And just so this is what I think. You probably know this if you're watching this, but there are 3 songs and there are 6 artists. And so 2 artists are singing 2 different songs. So let's go. All right. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm just preparing everything, which is something you kind of should do beforehand. But okay, so what I'm going to do in this video is basically I've heard the songs, the studio recordings. The songs are written very similar to how they have been in the 3 years that they've done it. They've liked the idea, even though Storms did come 25th. But anyway, but okay. So what they've done is that they have like a camp. They call it like a camp where they have like they have these kind of ideas where they put songwriters together over a weekend in a resort or something, and they get them to sit there and think up songs, and then they have to like present the song to like a delegation people, and then the delegation people decide which songs they like, and then they put them into this national selection. Interesting process. And so all the writers are usually writers that either have influence in the British music industry or European. Many of them have written past Eurovision songs. And it always interests me. Last year they had the person that Greta, who wrote I Hear Them Calling, wrote Crazy, and I'm sure so many others, but that's all I can think of. In this instance, we got some ones that wrote songs that, once again, didn't make it past the semi-final. So I find it interesting that they choose those songwriters because, once again, it's not really proving success. Although I have to say that the songwriters they choose are ones that I think are good, and we'll get to that anyway. So let's just talk about it. Like I said, you can comment below, contribute, engage with me. I love that. So I'm going to talk about, should I talk about the first song, Bigger Than Us? I'm going to talk about Bigger Than Us. So this one's written by a lot of people: Laura Barker, Anna-Klara Folin, John Lundvik, and Jonas Thander. It does interest me when songs are written by like more than 2 people, really, or 3 people. I'm like, oh gosh, that's a lot of chefs in the kitchen. But anyway, I don't know how people could write like that. It interests me what kind of input they have. However, Laura Barker is at the top. Laura Barker wrote the song Stones by Zibs by the Switzerland song last year. And Stones could possibly be, it's not, I would put it as my second favorite last year. And it was just so sad that Stones did not make it to the final. So I'm already loving the songwriter alone. And we have Michael Rice and Holly Tandy performing Bigger Than Us. 2 different versions, which just goes to show that it's sometimes all about producers and not just songwriters. Like, a songwriter can really not diminishing anything that a songwriter does, because it's great, they create it. But many times they'll grab a phone, they'll hum a melody, not even lyrics, or sometimes they will sing melody and lyrics just in their phone, and then they're like, that's the song. And then a bunch of people will actually arrange it musically. And then it's like, so sometimes the producers do a lot. This proves that. And you always hear people say like, oh, well, that'll be good revamped or something. And so this is kind of revamping an already kind of demo, like a real kind of sketch of an idea from these songwriters, from these 4 people. So Bigger Than Us. Anyway, Michael Rice, Holly Tandy, really different songs. Which one did I prefer? I preferred Michael Rice, for sure, without a doubt. Holly Tandy was good, but for a competition is just so not it. But watch Holly Tandy get it. I bet you anything. I preferred Michael Rice for so many reasons. I loved kind of more of the orchestration to it. I loved so much. I loved the piano in it at the beginning, and I loved how he sang the first verse, and he was like, dee 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 dee. Okay, wait. I'll say Holly sings it as like dee 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 dee. I can't. I'm maybe a little bit off with the melody, but that's kind of how the verse goes. Michael Rice's version is dee 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 dee. Like, oh, that little thing he does there, and the piano's like ding dee. Like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. You have to listen to it. And he gives this dynamic. He starts at like a 6. I would say start at a 6 or a 7. You have to get to a 10. You can't start at a 6 and end at a 6. You can't start at a 4 and end at a 4 or end at a 5. You know, or even worse, you can't start at a 6 and end at a 4. You have to start at a 6 and go to a 10. If you don't have that, I'm automatically not interested. So it's just so different. I don't know. When I was hearing the first couple of songs, I was like, I think BBC are trying to rig this. Not really, but everyone does it. But I think they rig it legally in the fact that they kind of manipulating the mind of the viewer to be like, oh, well, that one stands out. Yeah, that one, obviously. And I felt like the answers for 2 of the 3 were just so obvious that they're just assuming that people go for that. But, I didn't think Storms was going to win. Granted, Storms was a grower. A lot of the songs that the BBC pick in these national selections kind of are real raw and simplistic, and it takes time to kind of to let it marinate in your mind, Anyway, Michael Rice as well with Bigger Than Us had a key change, and it was a really, 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 really good key change. Listen to the key change. I was like, oh, wow. And when was the last time Britain had a key change? I don't even know. Was it Engeldine? Was it before that? Oh, let's work out. Was it Jade Ewan? Was that really the last time we had a key change from the UK? Oh, wow. So anyway, I just loved Michael Rice's version. Holly Tandy was real chill. If I was like in a hotel lobby room, I'd want that song playing. But I wouldn't want to go to a big concert and see that and see it as a competing entry. It's just like in such a big playing field. So yeah, it's not that I disliked Holly's, but looking at Michael and Holly, you're like, well, duh, Michael. Yeah, so it's interesting, but I found it really fun because this is a process that you rarely look at from an audience perspective of just how much a different arrangement or a different version just changes everything. you kind of have, there's been times where singers, most of the time singers would sing, okay, I've got to get to my points, but most of the time singers kind of sing another version, just like how with their tone of voice. But nowadays, a lot of people can really change it up. Anyway, so are there any comments? No comments. You can comment if you'd like. Anyway, so we'll do the next battle. And I don't know if I made it clear. So one of these, there's 6 songs. Sorry, 3 songs, 6 artists. Each artist of the winning song will go through to the next round. And so we'll be left with just one artist for one song. So there'll be like a top 3, and then there's a vote again, or something like that. The next song is Freaks. Now, this one was interesting. I originally thought yesterday that there was a clear winner for this one as well. But then in the span of 24 hours, one has grown on me a bit more. But I think I'm still going to go, I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to go with the winner of this is, I should say it's written by John Maguire, Rick Parkhouse, Corey Sanders, and George Tizzard. And John Maguire is, I don't think he's a Eurovision writer. I'm just doing, he may be. No, he's written more like for British pop artists with Warner Brothers. So Leona Lewis, Callum Scott. I'm looking at the Vamps. So many. Ollie Murs. Yeah. Westlife. Yeah. So yeah, he's good. Not Eurovision, but I don't think that really matters. I like that they bring in these kind of people that have a big influence in the British and European music industry anyway. Freaks. Okay, I'm going to give it to Jordan Clarke. Yeah, really rare, isn't it, that I pick guys over girls like this? But I felt like the guy versions just were given so much more kind of coronation and an occasion. As someone I knew used to say to me, everything needs to be sung with a sense of occasion. And that is kind of like the motto I go for with Eurovision. If it don't have that sense of occasion, and if it doesn't go from 6 to a 10, I'm not interested to begin with. So this one reminds me of the Jordan Clarke version of Freaks. Kind of reminds me of I'm Mr. Brightside. Is that the name of the song? But do you know what I mean? That song? I can't even remember who sings that. It's not Hoobastank, is it? But you know the song I'm talking about, maybe, if you're in my kind of age era. This song is like a kind of song for me. It's not bad, but it's not great. It would really sink to the bottom again if it was chosen. I'm going to say it's pronounced MAID or MAID, but there's no dot, so it's probably MAID, is a girl group or female group. And why I chose Jordan Clarke over this one is that the MAID one was kind of like a boom, ba boom, ba boom. I kind of felt like I was at a fair or a circus, more like a fair, which was cool, but it was nifty, but it was no any competition like. Jordan Clarke's a bit better. But this song is not really one of my favorites. So that's pretty much what I'm thinking of. And that kind of funhouse vibe is a little bit over, so by like 10 years. So, or is it making a comeback? Probably. Sweet Lies. This song is written by Maria Broberg, Lise Cabble, and Esben Svane. Lise Cabble and Esben Svane have written for Danish entries for Eurovision. Many, including the winner, Only Teardrops, which is not, as far as winners go, it's not one of my favorites. But Esben wrote the song. Maybe wrote the song "New Tomorrow" by a friend in London, and I don't mind that song. So anyway, the song is called "Sweet Lies," and the artist is Kerrie-Anne and Anisa. Two women. Which one's better? I can't even remember. Well, just let me remind myself which one's okay. Because it's the day, I'm trying to learn all these. Like, this isn't even the batch of songs. I'm looking at other batch of songs. I'm gonna go with the one by Kerrie-Anne. Anisa was very light, very similar to the version of It's Bigger Than Us. The Holly Tandy version for Anisa was really similar. And it just sounds better as like a dance track. Kerrie-Anne brought that dance track vibe. And she kind of brings off like this pizzazz of confidence. So I'm kind of giving everyone the same. I'm guessing for me it was an obvious answer, but now I'm thinking of it. If everyone likes the other side of like chill, easy listening, I think everyone would go for the Holly, MAID, and Anisa versions. And I don't think many people are going to be like, well, Michael Rice for Bigger Than Us, MAID for Freaks, and Kerrie-Anne for Sweet Lies. Like, I think it's going to be one or the other each way. So it's going to divide people. So it's going to be interesting what ends up happening because everyone's going to vote for the same thing. So it's either going to be one side or the other, I'm thinking. Who do I think it'll go for? Well, I've been wrong with the British voters. The British voters always surprise me. They pick the stripped back songs of recent. Never Give Up on You, which I actually loved. And also Storm over a bunch of like different kind of huge songs. So I don't know. Maybe the other. That's why I'm like, I think maybe the other. But for me, the obvious one is Michael Rice, Jordan Clarke, Kerrie-Anne. For Freaks, MAID is rather good. And like I said, it's grown on me. I still don't think it's a competition song. Anyway, I'm going to talk about why I like Kerrie-Anne's version of Sweet Lies. Well, I told you. But interesting, this Sweet Lies, isn't there like sweet lies, tell me sweet little lies? I'm sure everyone's thinking this. But it gives me that. They even said like, tell me sweet lies or something. So it just takes me back to that. I don't know. It's kind of like not that original for me. But they're also, it's like, give me highs is a lyric. Give me highs. I swear it's like, give me highs. Give me highs or something. And I'm like, oh, give me sweet little highs. And I keep thinking they're saying, give me hives. Give me sweet little hives. And I was like, oh. So every time I sing the song, I sing it, give me hives. Yeah, that's where my mind goes. Which of the songs do I think if let's say Michael Rice, Jordan Clarke, Kerrie-Anne got through to the next round, which of the songs overall in those versions would I say is the standout? Well, my third song would be Freaks. My second song would be Sweet Lies. And my first would be Bigger Than Us. For sure, Bigger Than Us has what it takes. This is going to be a year of either celebratory cultural dance tracks or power ballads like it's the last day and we're singing about the last day on earth, like singing like a sum up of the history of the world. That's the kind, it's going to be that or that. We may get some random, like Sir Hat's already been announced, so we know that he's like on another world of his own. So whatever Sir Hat does is going to be like big, the world's about to end ballads, cultural dance songs, and whatever Sir Hat decides to do. They're going to be the options. So I think Bigger Than Us can stand up with the other entries that's going to be power ballads, especially the Michael Rice version with the key change, for sure. As long as Michael Rice can sing this well, but I've heard that he was in singing competitions, so I kind of have faith that it's going to transfer the same on stage. Please don't strip it down like you did to Bilal, France. Yeah, my guess is Bigger Than Us. Okay, let's say Holly Tandy won for Bigger Than Us, and it was Jordan Clarke for Freaks, Kerrie-Anne for Sweet Lies. Well, I'd give it to Kerrie-Anne for Sweet Lies. Yeah, and if it was a MAID that won for Freaks and Kerrie-Anne for Sweet Lies, well, I'd do Kerrie-Anne for Sweet Lies. If it was Anisa for Sweet Lies, MAID for Freaks, Holly Tandy for Bigger Than Us, you know what? I think I might give it to MAID for Freaks, which is interesting that it just changes around like that. And if Jordan Clarke wins for Freaks and Holly Tandy and Anisa win, I'd give it to Jordan Clarke for Freaks as well, which is interesting because I just said that Freaks is my least favorite. But with the other two singing Bigger Than Us and Sweet Lies, it devalues the song, in my opinion, for both of them. Bigger Than Us, I'm not that interested in taking it to Eurovision with Holly Tandy. Sweet Lies with Anisa is nice. It's nice and brooding, I feel like. But I'd have to hear it live. I'd have to hear how MAID and Anisa sang that. I could change my mind. But I don't like the just kind of soft, chill vibes ballad version of Sweet Lies. Like just piano with Anisa. So I think I would, yeah. But I think it's funny. Freaks would be my least, but both of those versions I'd probably put first if my favorites for the other two didn't get through. Does anyone I just confused myself. Okay, let's see if there's any interaction on my video live, if there's any comments, and I will respond. Nothing. Wow. Thank you. I'm filming this video made it so worth it. No, really, it's okay. Other people are going to watch. Comment below if you're watching this not live, and I'll be happy to respond to you. So I'm going to leave it there. 20 minutes. I think I got through everything I want to say. So yeah, just subscribe. I'll be doing updates for sure on You Decide when the lives come out and the votes come out and all that kind of shebang. I'm also doing reviews on all the other national selections eventually, and all the entries that are going to come out this year, and I'll be doing edited review videos like that. So check that out. Subscribe to just keep up to date, okay? Yeah. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching, and bonsoir Europe, and goodbye.